Welcome to the Team Butterfly Effect All Hands Call. It is a Friday, May 29th, and let's cover just a little bit of details. But first, let me just share I'm so excited for all of you guys to be on today. I love ending my week with all of you. If you haven't seen on the team page, I've made a decision. Not next Friday, we'll do one more call the same, but the following week, so officially the first week, all of the kids in Texas, I don't know how it is in the rest of the world, but all the kids in Texas will be on summer vacation. And if the sun finally decides to come out in Texas, and if it actually stops flooding in Texas, this will be the time of the week I'm sure my family will be at the pool every week. During the summer last year, it was kind of our routine that every Friday we took a picnic, a dinner picnic to the pool, because when my husband got off work, or we would go up and then he would come up when he got off work. So I really need to honor my priorities this summer. And so I appreciate you guys being flexible. So for those of you who this time slot really, really works for, I apologize. I don't know what we'll do once the school year starts. We'll see how well the Monday evening works for us as a team, and we'll go from there. As far as the time though of the call, I'm pretty flexible. I had said 9 o'clock because I thought that would give people time with the later evening schedules with the kids to wind down and so on. But I'm starting to feel really bad for my East Coasters at being so late. Like, I mean, that's 9 o'clock for you guys is 10 o'clock. So I wouldn't advise you as your coach to really be plugging into social media at 10 o'clock. You're supposed to be winding down and going to bed. So if you think that you would plug in at 9:30 instead, I am flexible to shifting it to 8:30 if you think that would work for us as an organization. So let's talk about that on the wall on our page between now and then, and so we can see what we think would really work for our organization demographic. So that said, I'm happy to see you here today because this is going to be shifting here really soon. Also, just a little bit of business for you all. I'm glancing at my notes. I actually planned ahead for us today. It is currently last call for my willpower group. So my multi-program willpower group, it starts on Monday. So if you have anybody who you just need to plug into an accountability group, that would be a good space for them to be. Say, for example, Brett and I were talking the other day about her accountability group on whether or not she wanted to run it with another coach, or if she currently had, I think, two people in her PIO group. So how should she do that? Because it works better as far as motivation for everybody if there's good amount of people in there to keep the energy up. So I advised her if she wanted you to just to add them to this group. So last call, if any of your people are interested or you need to add anybody to it, request to join. If it's a name that you're afraid I'm not going to recognize or know, if you're one of my personally sponsored coaches or a coach that I'm in relationship with, just private message me and let me know, hey, by the way, this is my customer or my coach. Will you please accept them in? But just FYI, guys, Shakeology is a requirement for this group. It's a requirement for this group because a lot of what we're going to be doing is talking about wellness behaviors, and this is about willpower. And we all know that you're going to have better willpower. I mean, this isn't in the book, but we all know you're going to have better willpower if you're putting healthy things in your body. Okay. And so we all know that Shakeology is the healthiest meal of the day. So it is a requirement for this group, and my group, my rules. So anyway, also, let's see, what else do we got? Oh yeah, so for those of you who are going to Summit, registration is about to close for that. So if you're interested in going to Summit, please check it out ASAP. If you're wondering what is Summit, Google it. But just a quick summary, it's basically like the health and fitness conference for the year. Before I was a fitness professional, I mean, not before I was a fitness professional, before I was a Beachbody coach, just a fitness professional, had I seen the names of the lineup of the people that I would have gotten to work out with had I gone to Summit, I would have gone without being a Beachbody coach. I mean, you get to work out live with Shaun T and Tony Horton and Autumn Calabrese and Sagi, and there's all of our main fitness celebrities are going to be there. So, and we also get trained by some of the top coaches in the nation, and also our Beachbody corporate leaders. So the main reason why I wanted to just kind of plug this today is you might want to write this down. June 15th, if you're going to Summit. If you're not going to Summit, let this go in one ear and out the other. But June 15th is the date in which we register for our tracks, because if you went to Summit last year, you experienced that you would go and you'd show up for a workshop and it might be full, like, and then maybe you didn't get to go into the ones you wanted to get into because you didn't get in the line early enough. Well, this year you have to pre-register for everything. You have to pre-register for the seminars you're going to. You have to pre-register for the workouts you want to go to. So basically, if you've said you're going to go, they have a space saved for you, but that registration is going to be June 15th. So keep yourself focused to know when that date is, because you don't want to be a couple days late and then not be able to get into the spots you want to go to. So that's that. Oh, and one last thing before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's call. I have been doing a lot of contemplation lately about this organization and how I want to drive it and my intentions and so on, really honing in on my leadership skills right now, or to the best of my ability. And I have decided that instead of just doing a team social, because I've been thinking I want to get everybody together, I've been missing, I really want to get some team bonding going on again. What do we do when we get together with people and we're social? We eat and we drink, right? We eat and we drink. And although I'm a big fan of both eating and drinking, I think sometimes when we come together with a different intention, it can be more powerful. So I am calling June 27th the Team B Day of Service. So, if our mission is to be the change we want to see in the world, I mean, every great thinker, spiritual teacher, philosopher, they all talk about service, about how if you really want to change the world or make a difference, commit to helping others in service. And for my I was originally planning on doing a social that day at my house because Ann Heath will be home that weekend from her part of the world on the West Coast. And so I thought, well, when she was here, that we would all get together. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, how great would it be for us to all gather at my house, for the people who are local, gather at my house, everybody bring enough stuff, like, well, I'll make a list as far as what we need to bring, but it's my goal for us to make several hundred sack lunches, healthy sack lunches. So like whole grain bread and clean meat and cheese and maybe an apple and maybe a little bottle of water and whatever. So we're going to like get together, and the social is going to be, we're all going to come together and we're going to make several hundred, depending upon how many people come, several hundred sack lunches. And then we're all going to caravan to downtown Fort Worth, and we're going to go hand them out to the homeless. So that's what we're all going to go out and we're going to do together. And then afterwards, if anybody wants to then eat and drink together, we can all come back to my house and bring a bottle of wine and sit and eat and drink and be merry if you want to. However, let's come together for a really great cause, and let's help people who are not as fortunate as us, and maybe giving them an eye-awakening of what healthy eating is like. Like, I don't know when someone on the street has last been handed a meal that was actually good for them and not just a grease bag, right? So if you're not local and if you're not in DFW and if you can't attend this event, I'm encouraging you to do something, whether it be bringing your team together where you are, or doing something on your own and so you can participate in the Team B Day of Service. I'm asking you to take pictures. I'm asking you to video what you do, so then I can go and make like a compilation video. I'm getting chills talking about it. So I can get a compilation video of really showing social media and showing the world who we are, that we're not just about drinking shakes and pushing play on workout videos, that we really are interested in helping others on a more profound way. So mark your calendars, June 27th, Team B, day of service. Okay, time to get into the training portion of today's call. Let me take a drink of water. Last week is interactive. This week is going to be a little bit more instructional. And I'm labeling this call or this talk, why not me? And I'm mostly addressing this to newer coaches, or maybe coaches who've been signed up for 6 months, a year, 2 years, but still haven't taken that leap into coaching. So it's very common. Someone gets invited to partake in a Beachbody accountability group. And maybe you have a significant amount of weight to lose. And maybe you make the choice to become a coach because it makes the most sense to you in the grand scheme financially. So what happens very, very, very often is that you have these type of coaches, let's just call them a discount coach, a stereotypical discount coach, gets put into an accountability group, and maybe they see amazing success, maybe they fall off, maybe they struggle at first. But more often than not, people start into coaching and they're not in that place they want to be. They're not their goal weight, they're not their goal health, they're not in that place where they feel like I'm ready to coach anyone. And that's okay. We all start off a little bit unsure of ourselves, and that's normal and that's natural. However, this is the thing I need for everybody to recognize, know, and understand, is that everybody starts in a different place. Everybody starts in a different place. And what your eventual goal is, what you think that's going to look like, is very fluid. And we don't see that at the beginning, right when we first get started. Like maybe, hypothetically, maybe I'm 200 pounds when I get started, and I see my goal weight eventually is I want to be 140 pounds. So I got 60 pounds to lose. So in my head, I am not a success until I get to that weight. And so I cannot be a coach until I get to that weight or that size. Here's the thing. Once you lose 5 pounds, if you're 200 pounds, you lose 5 pounds. There is somebody out there who is maybe 225 pounds, who when you lose that first 5 pounds, because you committed to starting and sticking to it. Do you know, just losing 5 pounds to someone who maybe was in that mental place that they're stuck, they'll never be there, they'll never be able to do anything, for you being close to where they started is so inspiring. Because, like, say for someone who's 200 pounds and they see someone who looks the way I do right now, or looks the way many people do on the team, if they look at that and they think, well, she doesn't know how I feel. She doesn't know where I am. She doesn't know where I started. So guess what? They're not going to identify with me. I'm going to have a really hard time helping that person, because they, by looking at me or seeing my sweaty workout pics, there's nothing for them to bond with. There's nothing for them to associate with. But if they see someone who's just a couple pounds, still obese, a couple pounds less than them, going with the journey, they're going to think, oh my gosh, they look like me and they're doing it. They look like me and they're doing it. Hi, Carly. What are they doing? So my point is, guys, is you never know who you're going to inspire. You don't know that maybe there are people watching you who need to hear your message. because we all have individual things that we deal with and that we go through. So what Trisha has overcome is completely different than what Jill has overcome versus what I have overcome versus let me throw another name out there. I mean, like, so say for example, you've seen pictures of Alicia Anatoni. You know, she was what was it, 2 years ago, I think she said, or maybe it was I don't know, a year and a half ago. If you don't know who Alicia Anatoni is, you need to Facebook her so you can look at her before and after pictures. She spoke on our call a couple weeks ago. You know, she started out as what she called an Oompa Loompa, right? And then got down to her fit self. Had someone, the Oompa Loompa her, met the her now, probably wouldn't have been inspired. But because she was vulnerable and allowed herself to put herself out there from the beginning, not when she got to where she is now, okay? Not when she got where she is now. From the beginning, she started to share her journey. And so you know what's happened? She not only is a Beachbody Challenge winner, but she also has them on her team because they saw her start to have a little bit of success and they're like, I want that too. And so they jumped on with her and they all started losing weight together and they all have gone on this journey together. And so therefore, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, had she waited until where she is now, Alex, her coach who just won the Team Beachbody Challenge, probably wouldn't be where she is now either, because she wouldn't have had that person motivate her and reach out her hand. So I know, guys, right, when you become a new coach, you're like, I don't know anything about nutrition. I don't know about fitness. Like, I'm just doing what my coach is telling me to do. How can I coach somebody else to do this? The same way, guys, is like Beachbody gives us all the tools we need. They give us the workout program, they give us Shakeology, and they give us, like, I love the 21 Day Fix meal plan. I love it. I love it. They give us all, you know, we have access to all those things with all the information there. All you have to do is answer their questions. And you know what? You don't have to pretend to know the answer. If someone asks you a question that you don't know the answer to, guess what? That's what I'm here for. That's what your coach is here for. That's what the leaders in the organization are here for. We were more experienced, we've had more time, and guess what? You don't even have to tell anybody you don't know the answer. Most of it's all on Google Chat, right? Or I mean on Facebook Chat. You don't got to tell them you don't know the answer. You just message me or you message your coach and you say, hey, I just got this question. I have no clue. What do I do? What do I say? And we help you. Okay? We help you. Because although I'd been a fitness professional for however many years, 6 years before I became a coach, I didn't know close to what I know about now about nutrition. I've learned because as I become a coach, I take personal responsibility to learn more, to become a better coach. And that's why, guys, also personal development is so important. So in my group, the Willpower Instinct group, we're all going to be working on personal development, and I've chosen the personal development for all of us, which I think will honor and serve all of us within our wellness journeys, that we'll be able to give more tips to our clients and our team down the road. However, my best suggestion is you become a student through your personal development of whatever you need more of in your life. So if you feel like, I don't know the first thing about nutrition, then maybe you should read a book on nutrition. Or maybe you should spend, instead of zoning out on mindless TV one random night, maybe if you have Netflix, you watch Food Matters. Trisha has taught me so much about nutrition because of that one single documentary. You know, it's like Food Matters, Food Inc. Like there's documentaries out the wazoo that are a wealth of information that will help make you more into the expert that you think you need to be a coach. And if you're constantly learning and growing, you're slowly going to start to develop those skills, develop those tools that are going to create you or going to evolve you into the coach that you hope to be. And the part that's really interesting about this is right now, if you're not sure of yourself or sure of your knowledge, you're not going to attract those people who care. So, meaning, like someone who's 200 pounds and just lost 5 pounds, someone like me, I'm not going to be attracted to that person for them to be my coach. Like, if I want to coach, I want to find someone who knows more than I do, right? Who knows a little bit more than I do. So the cool part is if you're just on your journey, you're only going to attract the people that you know more than anyway, probably. Okay? And there's probably a lot of those people in your life because we tend to hang around the people that we're most like. So if if you don't know much about nutrition, you're just starting your fitness journey, my guess is most of your friends are in that exact same boat. If you don't know much about nutrition and you're not working out, when you go have lunch, you're probably not sitting with the gym rats. You know, you're not sitting with the gym rats if that's not where you live. Not saying that you can't be there. You will be, and it will be the progression and trajectory of your personal development. But just know that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait. The time is going to pass regardless. So say, for example, let's just think about this and let's look at this. So Tara Barnett, one of my personally sponsored coaches, she joined with me, gosh, it's been over a year ago, okay? And she started out and she didn't feel like she was in a place to start coaching people. She just wasn't there, right? She just wasn't there. Well, you know what? About six months to 8 months later, her and I had to sit down because she had been showing all of the personality traits that a good coach would have. And so I just kind of said, dude, what's the deal? It's like, you have the personality traits of a good coach. Why aren't you sharing your journey? And I convinced her to start sharing. And she now has clients. She's an emerald. She has people under her. So my point being is had she started sharing from the start, she may have already had, instead of 2 coaches under her, she may have 10. The point is going to pass regardless. It's just about putting yourself out there and making yourself vulnerable. So when you start asking yourself the question, yourself the question, why me? Why would I be a successful coach? I challenge you to ask yourself the question instead, why not me? Because there's no quality that anyone has in this group that you don't have or that you can't develop. There's nothing. All of us are intellectual beings who have the capability to learn and grow and to inspire and to change lives. And when I say those qualities, I'm saying it just because I believe, point blank, that like attracts like. And I know I am an intelligent woman, and so therefore all of you are too. Maybe not women, men too. We're all intelligent because otherwise we wouldn't have been here and come together. So it's time, if you are a new coach, or maybe you've been a coach for a while and you just haven't stepped up, I challenge you to just start making public what you're doing on social media. If you're not ready to start doing a power hour or inviting those types of things, that's your choice. But start making it public. Start sharing what you're doing little by little. If you need Beachbody, if finances are ever an issue for you, you might want to talk to your coach about starting to invite. Because if in the grand scheme of things, if this is just about you, you're like, Aubrey, this isn't about money. Like, I'm not interested in a business. Like, I just want to be well and I just want to be healthy. That's awesome. But if you've ever struggled with money financially, what's always the first thing to go when you need to cut things out of the budget? It's things to take care of you, right? The gym memberships go, getting your hair done goes, all of those little things that takes care of a mommy and daddy start to slip away, even if you don't have kids. I'm sorry, but those wellness things seem to be prioritized lower in the average American's home. So why not set yourself up for wellness success? If you have your Shakeology covered, then there's no problem there, right? And so it only takes 3 customers to have your product close to covered. $30 commission, a Shakeology bag. But let's be real. We don't usually even sell just Shakeology bags anymore. It's usually challenge packs with the workout program. So that's generally $40 for our cheapest one. So you help 3 people, that's $140, or wait a minute, $120, not a mathematician, all right, $120. Your Shakeology is then covered for the month. So is your business service fee, like everything is covered. So I advise you, if this isn't about the money, you're like, I really don't care about the business, but if you're looking at wellness as a long-term thing to change the life of yourself and your family, the probability of you actually accomplishing that goal, financially speaking, is to have your stuff covered and to have your stuff paid for. So then if times get tight, your spouse or your own logic can't talk you out of this anymore. You know, this isn't something to cut because you have made the decision to make your wellness and your transition such a high priority. And you know what? I know you can inspire others. So instead of asking yourself, why me? Why should I start? Why should I start sharing? Why do I think I have the goods or the cojones or whatever to be a good coach right now? Why not you? Why not you? I challenge you to ask that question to yourself and then reach out to your upline coach and let's make a plan for you to kill it in whatever way whatever that means to you. Whether that just means figuring out how you can get your Shakeology covered. Maybe it's about learning the technology to share what you're doing. Maybe you don't know how to post a picture on Facebook, and that's okay. We've all been there. Maybe you just need to learn those steps. But it can be learned and it can be done. If one person has done it, it can be done again, and it can be done by you. I believe in you. I'm asking you to believe in yourself. And that's all I got. Why not you? So, anybody, please, if you have a question, type it into the chat box now, and we'll address it. I'm not going to go through taking everybody off speaker because I have lots of people on the phone. Actually, I'm sorry, all of my phone caller inners can't type. So I'm just going to go ahead and take everybody off speaker or off mute. And if anybody has a question or comment or concern or just anything you feel like needs to be addressed before I clock out for the day, the stage is yours.
Aubrey, it's Brett. I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What was your biggest challenge when you started coaching? Because I can relate to a lot of this when I started, especially with the nutrition piece, and still kind of struggle with that. With, you know, where do I go? What resources do I have? and kind of, to be honest, some insecurities. What was your biggest challenge when you got started with Beachbody specifically?
And mine's going to be very different, and I don't know if it's going to be relatable to everybody, but I think it's the end of the spectrum of everybody else's. Everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else thinks, well, I'm not in that space that I need to be. I think I think I was further along on my journey. And so,
Right.
so as far as people didn't trust me, I wasn't proof the product worked because I didn't use the products to get there.
Right.
So I think that was my biggest struggle was actually authentically telling
Mm-hmm.
people why they needed to use the products because
Right.
that wasn't my path. So I feel
Right.
like for people who start with Beachbody products, it might be to one degree a bit easier because you have experience with it,
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah.
I had issues with the other end of the spectrum.
Right. I appreciate that. I think I'm kind of in the same way with nutrition. I don't, but, I don't have a big weight loss story or a big, I don't have any of that either. And so I can relate to that and I appreciate that. But I really appreciate this call.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it, so thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. I think a lot of us, the faces that I'm seeing right here, well, I see Jill Donovan's face and Trish's face, and none of us have like big weight loss stories. And I have a weight loss story, but Jill, Alessi has a big weight loss story. Actually, guys, you need to go look at her page. She posted she had has lost 50 pounds in like the past three months.
3.
Past 3 months. So she has a significant weight loss story. But for those of us who don't, I think a lot of people can think, well, how would you know where I've been? How do you know how I feel? I think we have to spend a whole lot more time really getting to know the person and get onto an emotional level with them and connect to them with an emotional level where it has nothing to do about our personal experience. So yeah, for those of you who are newer and you don't feel like you know a lot about nutrition yet, I wouldn't lie about it. I wouldn't pretend to know any more than you do. I would just share with what you know. And when people have a question, then you spend your personal development time that day researching it and learn it.
Right. That's what I was going to say. You just plug away and you learn it. And eventually, you just start educating yourself and you just know more and more. That's it. Plugging into personal development. Definitely. Your call was awesome, by the way.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm going to stop recording now.